Hello, ladies, and welcome to another episode of the Autoimmune Rehab Podcast, where, as always, you can find show notes and more details at autoimmunerehab.com. If you've enjoyed this podcast, I'd like to invite you to subscribe, rate, or review this podcast, and please share it with others that you know can benefit. So, for today, I'm going to be talking with you about some of the benefits of clove essential oil. Now, I want to say before I get started with this that these tips are meant just as simple ways to help offer some solutions for natural and holistic healing and some ideas of different ways that you could use it. Does not mean necessarily that using it in this way will work for you, as we all have different bodies, and I am obviously not claiming that you can cure anything or heal your body from anything with this. And as always, if you have questions, you need to consult a medical professional. That is not me. I am coming at this from somebody who has been reading about, educating, learning, and sharing essential oils since 2011. And currently, I use the brand doTERRA, so this episode is sponsored by doTERRA Essential Oils. And you can check out my doTERRA website at discoveroilsnow.com. And you will find that linked in the show notes as well. Again, that's discoveroilsnow.com. And with no further ado, let's get started talking about clove essential oil. So the first thing that I want to talk with you about is a couple of aspects of safety when it comes to clove essential oil. So the first thing that you want to be aware of is that clove essential oil is what is considered a hot oil. So what does that mean exactly? So that means that it is an essential oil that must be diluted at all times. It is not an essential oil that you can just start slapping on your skin and it's going to be okay without using any kind of dilution. So that's the first thing I want to tell you. The other thing I also want to tell you is that clove essential oil is also one that is very, very powerful, and it's not an essential oil that you just want to use in unlimited amounts either. So with no further ado, let's get started talking then about, I have this list here of these 10 different benefits and ways that you can use clove essential oil. So the first thing to know is that clove essential oil is a big anti-inflammatory, and it actually has the highest ORAC score of any essential oil that there is. And what an ORAC score means is that it means it's very strong anti-inflammatory properties. And you can also research a little bit more if you want for yourself about what ORAC scores mean. But clove is just very, very powerful for a lot of reasons. And the other thing, an aspect to safety on this, is that you also want to only use a very small amount. You don't want to get carried away and use large amounts of clove either. And I will tell you right now that as far as its taste go, it has kind of a bitter and kind of a yuck taste. Like, I personally don't love the taste of clove essential oil or cloves, period. So that is something that you need to be aware of if you do decide to take it internally. And along with that, the other thing you want to think about is that you want to really double check the quality and the purity of the oil that you're going to use, especially for some of the internal uses. So if you choose not to use doTERRA, which personally that's my brand of choice, but if you choose to use something else, you want to double check that what the brand you're using is safe for internal consumption and that it is a high enough quality and purity that you can feel comfortable doing that. Okay, the number 2 usage for clove essential oil is to help with mold. Now, I want to also add a caveat here that if you have a major problem with mold in your house, you need professional help. And the clove essential oil is not going to solve it. I did another interview, which some of you may have already listened to on this podcast, was back one of the more earlier episodes talking with Carrie Bakke about her experiences with mold and toxic mold poisoning. And so if you actually have a severe mold problem, like I said, you need professional help. The only reason I bring this up here is that clove essential oil can actually help with, say, cleaning if you happen to notice that there's just a little bit of mold in your shower that you want to get rid of or something like that. But if it's really spread beyond more than just a small area, you need professional help. And the way that you would do this is you can just make kind of a cleaner with clove and put it into, like, mix it with like some vinegar or something like that, and make a natural cleaner and spray it, and that can help kill it off. Or you could also, like, put it in a diffuser and diffuse it. And you can also use it in addition to getting professional help. But like I said, don't use it as a replacement for professional help if you really have mold that is spread beyond just a tiny corner or spot. And if you're not sure this is something you really want to get checked out, because it can really cause major health issues, like Carrie talks about on the podcast episode where I interviewed her. And there are lots and lots of other stories just like that. Okay, then the third one, and this is a big one, is as a help with dental issues and teeth and gums and things like that. There are a lot of natural toothpastes that actually have a clove essential oil in it, and it can help. So personally, the way that I've used it is after I have had a filling with a cavity or some other kind of dental work, I will take it and I'll dilute a little bit of it in like an almond oil or coconut oil or something like that. And then I a lot of times like to use like a like a cotton ball, or like a little gosh, now I'm forgetting what they're called. Not toothpick, but like the little pick things that have a little cotton pick thing, and put it on there, and then just kind of rub it on the sides of my mouth. And clove essential oil has not only a warming and cooling sensation, but it also has a numbing effect as well. So it can be used even in some extreme cases as a natural way of numbing your mouth. However, obviously, unless there's really a severe reason why you don't want the dentist to also numb you, you really shouldn't rely only on it for that. But it can actually help with that, like especially in the case of, say, maybe that wears off and you still have pain, you can put the clove on it and it can help numb it. You can also use it to help you survive, if you're in a situation where maybe you can't get to the dentist right away, you can use clove to help assist with that. Also, clove can also be used in a really small amounts with babies and children who are teething, can help reduce that as well. So it's really good, like I said, one in the mouth and good for the dental. Like I remember at one point I had a roommate, and this was after I'd started using essential oils, but I still wasn't quite as big of an expert in them as I am now, who came home from the dentist once and actually had an actual raw thing of clove that she was chewing on in the mouth to help with her teeth. And she said it really didn't taste good, but it definitely really helped. So that's the third way that you can use it. The fourth thing that you can use it for is that clove can be really good for your heart and your cardiovascular health. Now, this is not something that I am an expert in, so I don't have tons of knowledge about how that works. I know that in general, a couple of the ways that have been suggested to use clove for, just an overall body benefit would be to either dilute it and put just a couple drops in a carrier oil, rub it on the bottoms of your feet, and then put your socks on afterwards. Because what happens is then that essential oil will come absorb into your entire body. And that is actually true of any essential oil, not just clove. Or another method would be to put a few drops in a capsule and swallow it. I've done this as a strategy, like if I'm just feeling kind of blah and I don't really know why, I will do that. Or you can technically put 1 or 2 drops in some water and drink it. That is assuming that you're either using the doTERRA brand or using a brand that is authorized for internal consumption. And this can work really well, but like I said, the taste of clove is really nasty, so I don't really like to do that personally, but you can. Then the fifth way that you can use clove essential oil is to help assist you with detoxing. And personally, the way that I would do it would probably be pretty similar to the methods that I've just described. So putting it on the bottoms of your feet, drinking it in water or in a capsule, and can help, you detox from toxins that are in the environment. That kind of thing can be really good for that. Okay, then number 6 is to help soothe aching muscles and joints. So clove, because it is a really strong anti-inflammatory, can help with, a lot of some of the different issues there that you may be encountering. So, you could dilute it with a carrier oil, rub some of it directly on like the knees or, your wrist or whatever, that kind of thing. And to help with soothing those aching muscles and aching joints. It's obviously not a replacement for getting medical help or, for doing something more severe if you really are having a major problem. But if it's kind of a minor problem, you could consider clove as something that you could try out there. Okay, the number 7 is to help with immune system support. So this again goes back to the fact that because clove is a very strong anti-inflammatory, it can help with helping to boost your immune system. And personally, my favorite blend that I like to use for the immune system contains clove in it, along with the wild orange, cinnamon, eucalyptus, rosemary. I think that's basically what's in the blend. And so clove can be really good, if it's that time of the year, the winter season, that kind of thing, and you want to try to avoid catching every single illness or different things that are going around, and you want to try to use it that way. That said, it isn't necessarily going to prevent everything, of course, and it's not going to be a cure if you actually do get sick. The ideal situation is that you have already used it before you've gotten sick to help improve your immune health and hopefully help prevent it. Okay, the number 8, I mentioned a little bit back when I was talking about the mold, is a natural cleaner. It's like I said, you can mix a few drops in with some water or some vinegar or some witch hazel, different things like that, and spray it. Use it to clean your shower, clean your toilet, your sink, all that kind of thing. And it can make a really good, powerful, strong cleaner that can help you clean really well and effectively without some of the toxins and chemicals of traditional cleaners. Then number 9 is as a thyroid support. Now this is one of the ways in which I use it as well. And in this case, you just dilute it and can rub it over your neck and thyroid area. Now, again, like I have to point out, this is not a substitute for taking your thyroid meds. It's not a substitute for getting your levels checked or involving professional help. However, I have found that sometimes if I'm feeling like that area is a little bit inflamed, or I'm having a little bit of sensitivity in that area, I find I can just kind of rub that directly over my thyroid area, and a lot of times that will help give me a little bit of relief, help with some of the inflammation that's in that area, that kind of thing. Okay, and then last but not least, clove can also be used to help with parasites and bugs as a bug repellent, or if you may be dealing with some parasites internally, you could try it, taking it in the capsule internally as well. And one of the more effective ways to use clove for a bug repellent would be to combine it with some other oils. So for example, lemongrass and citronella are also really good bug repellents, and you could just either dilute it in an oil and rub it on you to help prevent getting bitten by all the bugs and mosquitoes and things that are out there if you're dealing with this during that season. Now, obviously, where I'm at right now in the winter, I don't have to worry about that, but in the summer and sometimes going into early fall, I definitely have a tendency to have been eaten alive in the past if I'm not careful. So that can be another really good way to do that, for clove to help assist with repelling the bugs and the parasites, the ants, all those kind of things that are out there. So anyhow, I hope you found this episode useful, has given you some food for thought and some things to consider when it comes to clove essential oil. Like I said, if you enjoyed this, please subscribe, please rate and review the podcast, share it with other people. And if you have questions about clove essential oil or other essential oils, please reach out. The information to do that will be in the show notes. Take care and have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon on another episode of the Autoimmune Rehab Podcast.